Plus R effect means if the carbon is directly connected to the benzene, okay, and or to the resonating part, and it is means benzene is actually taking electron from the connected species. Whatever the species is connected over the surface of the benzene, if the benzene is taking electron from that species and the resonance is starting, clear, that is the part of plus R effect. But sometimes species will be there, those especially they will be taking electron from the benzene, okay, and then the resonance of the benzene will be starting. This is the part of minus R effect. So what is this? Here, if the connected species over the surface of benzene is giving electron, then it is your plus R effect. Again, if the connected species on the benzene is taking electron, then it is your minus R effect. Clear? But again and again we will not be using the term plus R effect, minus R effect. What we will be using a term, we will use two terms from now onward, which is called electron withdrawing group and second is electron releasing group. Clear? Means in inorganic you normally use electronegative, okay, electropositive, but here these are almost similar words, but we will be using electron withdrawing group, which is called EWG group. Clear? Second is ERG group. And now we will understand if the ERG or EWG groups are present over the surface, how the reactions of benzene will be proceed. Means so far we had only simple reaction. For example, if benzene is kept in the presence of chlorine, in the presence of anhydrous ClCl3, so chlorine was taking the position on the surface of benzene and chlorobenzene was actually happening there. Now question is, if chlorine is already there, clear, so where the another chlorine will be attached, that also we had done, that ortho para position will be there. And question was there, why only ortho para, this was also explained. So we have to cover few more reactions which will be following the same pattern of ortho and para positions, as well as we will be covering the meta directing group also. Means few species, whenever they will connect to the benzene, so because of the connection of those species over the benzene, okay, new species is not coming on the only on ortho and para position, they were also found to come on meta position. Clear? So this is the part of this nature here. So we have to cover ortho, para and meta, all types of compound. Clear? Okay. So number first heading we have here, that is, what are ortho para directing groups? Okay, ortho para directing groups. So the groups which shows plus R effect is called your ortho and para directing group. Answer is clear? Again I am telling, those groups specifically which are producing plus R effect, so all effect will be called your, that is, ortho and para directing group. Clear? Now according to the same concept, if we take an example of all the parts of the group here for plus R effect, so number first I am taking benzene and here I am taking CS3. Clear? So since CS3 means carbon will be actually giving electron to the benzene, so we will call CS3 as electron releasing group. Clear? In respect of the CS3, you can call benzene as electron withdrawing group. Clear? Similarly, one more here, for example, NH2 is there and I am just connecting it through benzene again. So again, NH2 is your electron releasing group. Okay, so benzene will be having the electron flow from the nitrogen like this. More examples we can take here. Let's take a few more examples. Here I am having the benzene and directly if I connect with OCS3, okay, so again OCS3 combined, it is called your electron releasing group. Clear? Next is here, if again I take here OH only, which is phenol, so again OH is your electron releasing group. Clear? So these all groups, I have taken only 4. There are also another groups. For example, you can take benzene, and on the surface of benzene you are having, let's take chlorine. So this is also your electron releasing group. Normally, although chlorine is actually having a nature of electron withdrawing, but only in open chain, because chlorine is more electronegative than carbon. So in open chain it was taking electron from the carbon. But here in the benzene part, it will be giving the electron. Why? Because benzene carbon is sp2 hybridized. Since the S character is high, so electronegativity is also high. So electron will be flowing toward the benzene, not toward the chlorine. Clear? Okay. Why we are doing these things? Because we have to cover few reactions, especially those reactions which we had already discussed in the previous session. Okay. For example, in the previous session I told you this reaction only, that if I pass it through anhydrous AlCl3, so chlorine was found actually, means here in the presence of chlorine. So this part of benzene, chlorine was initially there, so new chlorine had come to the ortho position. Similarly, another part means one more possibility was found there, in that chlorine was found on the para position. Clear? How it was done, this was also explained based on the resonating structures. Clear? What is this resonating structure? Again, you just revise the plus R effect. So you will find out minus charge were actually generated only on ortho and para position, especially if the attached group is your ERG group or electron releasing group. If it will be your electron withdrawing group, so meta positions will also be activated. Clear? Means meta position. So that chlorine will come to the meta position and para position, not on ortho position. Am I clear? So meta position products will be there, not your ortho and para positions. This part is clear? Okay. Now here, so the same reaction I am going to cover here so that you could understand properly. So ERG is there, again you have taken anhydrous AlCl3. So what is the nature of anhydrous AlCl3? First of all, this anhydrous AlCl3, what is it called? Means it is having one nature now, which is called Lewis acid. So Lewis acid means it will be taking electron pair. Okay, so it will be directly gaining the electron pair. So directly it will be having the property of anhydrous AlCl4, overall one negative charge it will be there. So what is happening here? Remember, this is acid and NH2 is base. Clear? So normally when you will do the reaction of NH2 with anhydrous AlCl3, they will not be proceeding in that pattern. Why? This is base and you are applying acid over there as a form of catalyst. So neutralization reaction will happen instead of happening the ortho para positions part. This is also a question. So therefore now what will happen, again come back here, anhydrous AlCl3 is there. So if you keep anhydrous AlCl3 with chlorine in the presence of toluene, so your chlorine will again go either on ortho position, here on ortho position, or the second part is here, which is called para position. So if you pass it, so you will have two products. Again, this product will be your minor product and the second one it will be your major product. Is this clear? Okay. Similarly, if you want to pass NH2 with the chlorine, so here instead of taking this one, you have to take other reagents, for example CH2. Why we cannot take anhydrous AlCl3 again? Because this is your base. Okay, anhydrous AlCl3 is acid. So both, if they will combine together or if they will come in the contact of there, So the formation of salt will take place instead of your main product as ortho and para. So that's why we take CS2 or any non-polar solvent so that the reaction could proceed properly. Clear? Here you will have again the same thing, means you will be finding out that NH2 is having ortho position with chlorine and your para position of chlorine. But remember, specifically for this reaction is not easy to proceed. Okay, not easy to proceed, which means it will be having following steps to complete. But just only for basic understanding, we are taking this process so that we could understand the final product will be ortho and para. But there are mechanism, means it actually follow a proper mechanism which is not like this, it is a completely different one, but the final product will be this one. Clear? Okay. Now, if we talk about the same OCS3, so easily now you can predict the reaction. If you pass it through chlorine, again in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3, so you can be writing down the answers that OCS3 will remain on the surface as it is, and one part will come on ortho and second part will come on the para. Now I think this part should be clear. Okay, similarly for OH also you will take the same thing, chlorine in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3, and the final product will be your here phenol with Cl, and again you will have the other part which is para position of C. So except this NH2 reaction, all reactions are following the same mechanism with the same reagent. This part is clear. What we are revising or what we are doing this here, because now we will take only one part and we will do all the possible reactions other than chlorine also. But the final product will be your ortho and para directing groups. Means whatever you will be taking to connect over the surface of the benzene, that body will be connecting either on the para position or your ortho position without disturbing the group which is already attached on the benzene. Clear? So here let's take few examples which is a direct reactions here. So I'm taking one simple reaction which is called chlorine, or you can write down the name also, chlorobenzene. Clear? So what will happen if you pass chlorobenzene through various chemicals? For example, number first we are taking again easy one, which is anhydrous AlCl3. So directly you can proceed that chlorobenzene will be having two parts. Okay, so one will be your ortho position of chlorine, second will be para position of the chlorine. Clear? Second, now I'm just changing the compound, so I'm taking CS3Cl again in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3, here AlCl3. So what will be the final product again? So again you will take the chlorobenzene. Okay, so one part of the CS3, it will come on the ortho position. So first I'm writing down here CS3 ortho position and this para position again by CS3. Clear? Now let's do the third reaction here. If I am taking CS3 single bond C double bond O single bond Cl again in the presence of anhydrous AlCl3, so you will have again final answer as it is, that is ortho position and para position. Clear? So chlorine will be again detaching. So if the chlorine will detach, so it will be connecting with AlCl3 in the mechanism, and this carbon will become positive charge. So this carbon will come here, C double bond O CS3 will be remaining as it is here. So once it will come ortho position, then it will come at your para position. Clear? Few more reactions based on the same thing. If you pass it through again bromine, but in the case of bromine, you should have taken anhydrous AlBr3, so that reaction will be following the same way. And answer you will write down as it is, means again you will take the ortho position and your para position with the bromine. So the final answer will become here ortho position with bromine, para position with bromine. Clear? Anyone, any doubt? It is just a start for the reactions. Clear? So whenever we will be moving like into the depth, so in the third step, you will have these chemicals already, and then you will understand what will happen if you do the reactions for these chemicals further. Let's take COCS3 is there, or already you are having this compound. If I pass it through again chlorine in the presence of anhydrous ClCl3, so what will be the desirable products? So slowly we will be moving into more depth so that the reaction could be understood properly. Clear?